welcome to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're very, very welcome here this morning, whether you've been here before or this is your first time. Everyone's welcome here. It is Thursday the 23rd of March 2023 and it is still early. It's 3 minutes past 8 in the morning. I know I only saw you last week, so maybe you've had enough of the sound of my voice, but I haven't shown you any knitting in a while and it's backing up a bit. It's building up too, and I just thought I have a busy time coming up, and I thought I'd quickly jump on, get a recording done this morning and just share a bit of my knitting. It was torrential rain last night here with wind and lightning and thunder and all the rest of it, but it's calmed down this morning. The rain seems to have tailed off, so I hope the lighting is as good as it's going to get, I'm afraid, whenever you record before the clocks change. Our clocks change on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, so yeah, hopefully spring is in the air. Where can you find me will be down below in the description box, and you're more than welcome to contact me in any of those platforms. I will try my best to get back to you. I do sound a bit like I haven't had my breakfast, which I haven't. I'm hoping to go to Knit Group this morning, and we meet in a coffee shop and they do a lovely granary toast, so that's my ambition for this morning. But not just yet. My husband was away up in Scotland for a couple of days, and he's meant to get back about midnight last night, and his flight was delayed, and he got in very, very early this morning, so he's still resting, and he's still sleeping, so I'm in the far side of the house from him, so hopefully I won't waken him. So anyway, all the rubbish you don't need to know, isn't it? I want to thank you very much for your reception of the wee chatty episode I put out last time. It seems to have been what people like, so I definitely will include that more often. Always have something to say, don't I? I want to thank very, very much my lovely, I'm going to call him a friend, Sam, who is the Irish Knitting Podcast, although he's Italian, but he lives in Dublin. And congratulations, Sam, on getting your Irish citizenship. And he shouted me out. He did a chatty episode too, and the lovely Linda Simpson Designs mentioned me on one of her posts as well. And if anybody else has mentioned me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I can't believe how many people are watching this ramble every time I put it out, and I can't thank you enough. I always say don't take it for granted. There's a lot more professional done and beautiful podcasts out there with beautiful cinematography and all the rest of it, and here's me sitting in my messy craft room in the southwest of England on my rocking chair talking away about my knitting and the love I have for it. And thank you so much is all I can say. We're hitting nearly another milestone, and I never in a million years thought we'd ever get there, but here we are. We're all doing this together and sharing in our love of yarn and all the rest of it. Shall we start? I've got my notes as always, and just in case I always do veer off, but just in case I miss anything, and there's a lot to talk about, so grab your drink, grab your craft, and you can watch this in as many doses as you want. Some people watch it straight through, some people stop and start, and that's the joy of YouTube, isn't it? That it'll start you off again where you left off. But sure, we'll get on with it, will we? So what's next in my notes? What am I wearing? I suppose, well, you've seen this before and I just love it. It is now my absolute favourite sweater. It is the Felix by Savory Knitting, and it's in woolly knit Aran in the colourway Rust. And I'll talk about this in a minute. Many of you know, I don't know how to say this, many of you know you were here last year for my big birthday. Well, another one's coming up on Monday, and I want to do a wee giveaway for that. I always want to bless people when I've been so blessed throughout the year. And you know what, I'm just going to announce that here, so if you don't want to watch the rest of my waffle, you'll have you'll have got into the giveaway at least. And I'm going to give away something a bit different this time. It's still yarn, and it'll be open worldwide. Don't panic. But I have these, you know, I rarely get to a yarn show in real life. Not big on crowds for a start. And where we live, they're quite small and you have to travel. And the last few that have been on down here have been on a Sunday, and that just doesn't suit me. So I order online. And just before Christmas, just before Christmas, this company were doing a sale, and I'd always wanted to try their yarn. But when I got the yarn, it just wasn't my colours, and I want to give it away. Now, I hope you don't feel that I'm panning off stuff onto you, but it's beautiful. It really is. But I just thought, what better way to share the love? It's from a Scottish company, and it is Nervous Fibre. And I have two. And it's DK. And this one is, the colourway is Hush, and this one is Aster. Now this one is lovely. So is this one. It's got greens, but it's merino nylon, and I thought, although we're coming into spring, these would make absolutely, you could put them together if you want, or these would make absolutely gorgeous socks. And not everybody's coming into spring, and some people like to knit ahead and all the rest of it, but it's squishy, it's lovely, it's plump, and I just thought I would give these two skeins away. You can see there's green and reds in that, and there's beautiful pinks and rusts and all the rest in that one. So that's my giveaway for my birthday. My prompt is, I think it's time, with so many new subscribers and so many new people watching, you have to be subscribed to get these. I think you have to be subscribed to leave comments on YouTube channels anyway. But my prompt is, where are you from? I've done this a few times before, but it always amazes me. Now, don't give me your address or anything, just the country or the state, or if something about the place you live that you love. And because it just boggles my mind that people from all over the world are watching my channel, and I will put those in the post and send them to you. Now, I have sent the last giveaway I did, one of them went to Norway, and she still hasn't got it yet. So just be patient. I've sent it. It took me a while to send it because the Royal Mail were not sending international parcels at that time. But I sent it about 3 weeks ago, and it's still not there, just to Norway. So bear with me if you're anywhere else. It will get to you eventually because I send it the cheapest way possible. Obviously, you can understand. So that's that. Now, I won't be able to podcast for at least 3, maybe even 4 weeks after this because we're away. I'm going home to see my mum and dad and my family, and then we have to go up to Edinburgh. I mentioned that in my last wee chatty podcast. So it'll be a wee while. So you've got plenty of time to watch this podcast and leave a comment down below, and I will pick the person's name in the next podcast. I also have, let's get so much stuff here, excuse me as I put them in the basket. So yes, so just leave the comment, and as we said, as all podcasters are saying, I will always announce it on this podcast. It will never be, I'll never reply to your comment and say you've won, ask you for money, any of those things. Then the next one is, I promised if you put hashtag you feel free in 23 under your projects, that I would randomly from time to time pick out a project from there. And it's going to storm. It's brilliant. So many people are using that hashtag, and I will pick out a name from that next time too. Now, I think because I'm sending that internationally, I will give the gift of a pattern for that one. Just this time. I'm sure I'll do yarn or something next time, but just I got my yarn swap person, and it's international as well, so there's going to be it's going to be costing a wee bit. So I think I'll do a pattern so much easier, and I can send it to Ravelry or to your email or whatever. So get your projects in there. Some people have put many projects in. I'm not choosing from, I'm just going to randomly choose. I'm not choosing like the one I like the best or anything like that. And you might win a pattern or two depending on the value of them. And so yes, put your on, if you're on Instagram, I can't do it obviously on a private account because I can't see it. But if you're account is public, just underneath your picture, underneath your post, just put hashtag you feel free, the letter U, feel free. It'll be on the screen in 23. And yeah, it's just a bit of fun. So the last thing I want to say at 10 minutes in, this is going to be a chatty podcast too, shawls. I mentioned in my last podcast about that I haven't been successful in selling my shawls. And many of you mentioned that I should give them to an old folks home or to, why didn't I just think of that? My mum regularly visits old folks homes, even though she's of a certain age, and shut-ins, and I will gladly hand them over. So I'm going home on Monday and I will be putting quite a few in my suitcase. Now, I don't think I'll take the 100% wool ones because, you know, in a nursing home, everything gets shoved in the washing machine. But some of the superwash ones would absolutely be ideal. And I will certainly be looking for other homes for the more woollier ones. So that has just lifted my mind. Hopefully bless somebody with perfectly lovely shawls, but I just don't wear them anymore. And yes, I've already sent one off in the post yesterday to a lady who I know will love it. So thank you very much for the suggestions, and that's what I'm going to do with them. So there you are. Right, come on to some knitting. Well, I'm a bit scant on the FOs this week. I had a terrible case of cast-on-itis. And you will see. But it's my knitting. I'll cast on if I want to, is the motto here, isn't it? So no judgment. If well and truly the monogamous knitting phase is absolutely gone, and I am thoroughly enjoying my craft and all of the beauties the beautiful patterns that are out there. There's a few that have got worked on, a few that have been put in the time out, and all the rest of it. So anyway, I'll stop talking and get on with it. Right, well, this is my first FO. Yet another mindfulness shawl. Take it off. And yes, it's a bit like the one I had on one other thing, but it's a bit darker. That's perfect. The rusts and the reds and the browns, and I just think it goes fantastic with it. And I knit it for this jumper. This is, as you know, one of my absolute favourite wee quickie simple patterns, the Mindfulness Shawl, and I will put the details down below. Again, I got loads of questions about where to find it after my last one. It's not on Ravelry. I'll say it again, it's not on Ravelry. It's on madewithloops.co.uk, and it's a paid for pattern. Mindfulness shawl, although I do call it the mindlessness shawl because it's just lovely to knit back and forth on. And I have now got 10 of them and I will be knitting another 10. I don't care. I'm not proud. Actually, don't think I need it on in here this morning. There's no heat on, but it is a bit milder. And the yarn I used for that, sorry, Crinkle, I have put them in a plastic bag to keep them safe. And I don't have the tag. Oh my goodness. So professional. I'll show you the yarn that I used. So it was a sock set. Sorry. Oh, I do have the tag. I had the tag. Sorry, Crinkle. So it is from the Wool Matters Fibre Co. And it is natural sock 4-ply. Now, I have knit quite a lot with this yarn and I love it. It's 100% Shetland and Romney lamb's wool, 360 meters per 100 grams, and it's bloom 3, and it's bundle dyed. And I think that means that she puts it's botanically dyed. Obviously, I think that means that she puts all the flowers and everything in all over it, and then rolls it up. If you look up her Instagram, she's got videos of how she does it. So it's the Wool Matters Fibre Co. And this is it was a sock set, and this is all I've got left. A wee nubbin, and just this, my stomach's rumbling. I do apologise. There we go. So that was my first, I'm going to leave that off, I think. That was my first FO. My second FO, I don't want to show you because it's a present, but I will show you the yarn. It's another, am I kidding? It's another mindfulness shawl. They're just perfect for mindless knitting. They really are. Sorry, rustling again. And it's the yarn. I showed you a wee glimpse of it. Sorry, there's yarn. I showed you a wee glimpse of it on my last Chatty podcast, and it's from Bird Street Yarn. And it is the Mary Berry colourway. Now this was a Christmas colourway, but I don't think it's particularly Christmassy. It's particularly beautiful, but I don't think it's particularly Christmassy. And I have 42 grams of that left, so those will go into socks. Another question a lot of people ask me, because the Mindfulness Shawl is knit, I think it's for sport or DK, I can't remember. You can knit it with anything basically. And people often ask me what needle size I use. I will be very honest, I use anything from a 3.25 to a 4. And I knit about 4 or 5 rows, and if I don't like the fabric, I change the needle size. That's how professional I am. So just go with it. You know, a pattern, if you have a pattern, you don't have to stick rigidly to it. I've knit, you know, just go with what you like and see how you get on. And it's only one skein, so rip it back if you're not happy with it. But so that's 2 Mindfulness Shawls. And then my last FO, it very slim pickings compared to what I normally have to show, is my my Lucky Dip Cal, the HCC, hashtag HCC Lucky Dip Cal socks. Now I'm breaking the rules, as I said, it should be 100 grams. I don't think I can enter, but I like the concept that you put 12 skeins of yarn in a bag or whatever that you can't see, and you put your hand in every month and pick out a skein, and these are probably my favourites so far. Look at those babies. Now they're not blocked, I don't bother. Oh, look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? Done a shadow wrap heel so I wouldn't break up the stripes, and they're so soft. Only that I've already knit them in a size 6. Cara, you nearly wouldn't have been getting them. This is the second time I've bought this yarn and given it away. I gave it away to the Sock Quest last year, but as I said, I'm doing 12 months of Cara socks. I'm knitting for my friend Cara, and these are from Woolly Goodness. You know, I have raved about the softness of this wool many times, and it's self-striping sparkle. Don't know if you can see the sparkle, can you? A wee bit. And the colour is If You're Happy and You Know It. And these certainly, if you pop these in your feet of a morning, you'll certainly cheer you up no matter what mood you're in. The shadow wrap heel used to be my favourite, but I didn't find, for me, it was as sturdy. But certainly with stripes, I prefer to do the shadow wrap. Otherwise you get the stripes, and I think they're matching. Although it was 225 grams, she'd have done lovely. Yeah, matching. 225 grams with a pink 20 gram mini. I did mean to do a pink toe, and I completely forgot and kept on knitting. So anyway, so that's March's Lucky Dip Cal socks, and I'll go to, I can give those to Cara. I'll probably see her at Knit Group this morning. Right, must remember to take those to Knit Group. Take a picture and take them to Knit Group. Will I remember? Who knows? Who knows? So that's my 3 finished objects, because I could settle it very little. My stomach is rumbling and I do apologise. I do have a hoe, which is, where have I put it? And these are my handbag socks in my lovely So Yarnalicious bag that Ez gave me for Christmas. I think last year, was it? Love it. All the different women. And this is just a vanilla sock. Nothing special. It's a hoe, ho, ho, ho. Again, seems very Christmassy. This is more Christmassy, and it wasn't bought at Christmas, than the Christmassy one. And this is... do I have it? Do I have it? I think this... Oh, there's it. This was bought a long time ago. It's been in my stash for quite some time. And it's from... Actually, it says yarn handmade in Devon. It's made in Plymouth, which is only 30 miles from me. But the actual name of the dyer is in tiny wee letters, which was bizarre to me, but anyway. And it's Yarn Studio UK, and he is still on Etsy. Let me see. He doesn't keep much in his shop, and it's usually quite bright colours, but it's nice to support people in my local area. So yarn hand dyed. There's no name for this colourway that I can see. But it's, yeah, I'll maybe put those away for Christmas. It's showing up slightly different than, that's it there. Greys, reds, greens. So I think I might put that away for Christmas once I've got those done. So those will go with me to knit group this morning. Again, back into my handbag. I never leave home without knitting. And yeah, let's put them over here. I'm not throwing them on the floor, I'm putting them in a basket. So that's my whips and my ho-ho-hos. That's not my whips, my brain. That's my FOs and my ho-ho-hos. Now, whips. Do you need to go and get a fresh cup of tea or coffee? Oh, there's a few. I don't even know where to start. Well, yeah, I just start at the very beginning. Julie Andrews had it right. The So Basic Sweater by Maxim Sear. Remember I told you last week, where have I put it? Have I put it here? Yes. There's things hanging off my chair. There's things balancing. Last time I told you that my husband, we've been married for 16 years, and my husband has never shown any interest in any, well, no, he shows interest in what I knit and often comments and says, oh, that's lovely, and how did you do that? But he's never asked for anything, and I've never offered anything. But suddenly he asked me for a jumper, and it is I'll put the picture up here, and I'm not doing the pocket. Don't think I said that last time. By Maxim Sear. Now my husband has a beard, and I think he thinks he looks like handsome Maxim there, but he doesn't. And plain crew neck, raglan sweater, and I hadn't started it last time, so I've got a wee bit done on it. Now it's not on the biggest needle in the world, so see if we can show you. Where's the back? There's the back. So this is, of course, this bag's going to fall straight on the floor. This is what I've done so far. It's getting dark, sorry. Oh gosh, there's a lot of raglan stitches, rows and rows. I think it's 78 rows I have to do on very fine 4-ply yarn. I can't get this right. Oh, what am I doing? Where's the... Right, this is it, and this is it. So I'm still early days. It hasn't... Can't even get... The one wee bit of design is... This is the sleeve. You see, it'll end up being kind of a garter, a purl ridge to make it look like it's a garter. It's a panel. Oh, wish I hadn't bothered. My husband won't care, and the amount of times I have knit the whole way round and then and I've had to go back and do the little one stitch of purl to make it look nice, but I'm sure it'll be worth it in the end. I'm trying to get this so the bag doesn't fall on the ground, and I can show you the proper colour. That's not coming up at all. Can I see? Oh, that's maybe it. It's greeny. It's called Seafoam, and they don't sell it anymore, which isn't helpful to you. That isn't the right colour at all. Don't know how. I'll see if I can get it on the skein to show you any better. Where's the skein? They come in 200-gram hanks from Woolly Knit. Ribbons everywhere. They're so organised. Maybe better in the skein. Yeah, I think that's better. Can you see? I don't want to bring it any... No, it doesn't. I think just about there. It is a seafoamy green. That's exactly a bluey green. It's coming up grey. Maybe once I edit it, it'll come up a bit better. Big massive hank, the size of my head. And I have quite a few of these. For some reason, lovely lady gave me some, and I already had some. And so I have plenty. He's got ridiculously long arms and quite a long body, so I will need probably more than the pattern says for his size, doing a large. There you go, you can see the kind of variegate a wee bit. So it's knitting up lovely, a bit monotonous, but I haven't knit on it a lot since last week, because I'm going to Ireland, which is a short hour and a bit plane ride, probably longer in the airport. But the following, I get back on the Friday, and I go with the family to Edinburgh in the car, just, you know, 480 miles or something. We will share the driving, but I thought this would be a perfect car knitting project because it'll just be round and round and round and round and round, and I can tell my husband he's going the wrong way, and I can still say, did you not mean to go that way? And annoy him. And probably good for sitting with a coffee and that too. Don't know, I think it's going to be quite a busy time because we are there for meetings with our mission. We are staying on a bit at the end of the week for a bit of family time, but I thought it's not a big bulky bag. My lovely bag from Soft Accents. I'm sure some of you saw her at EAYF at the weekend, and thought it goes quite compact. So yes, I think this is one of my travel knitting projects. So that's my first whip. My second whip, why I cast this on, I don't know, in the middle of everything else, is another one of these. Another Felix sweater. Now, you ready for this beautiful, well, I think it's beautiful, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, is, look at this. Oh, can the camera stand it? Look at it, that's true to colour. Cobalt blue. I absolutely love it. I have split for sleeves, so this is a round and round project too. So this might come to Ireland. I haven't decided yet. It's such a quick knit. I could probably wear it on the way back from from the trip. It's Aran weight, so maybe a bit bulky to take in my luggage, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Will that suit me? I can't get enough of this colour. Now this yarn was, as I was going to say, as cheap as chips, but chips aren't cheap. Certainly not in the UK. It is knit in, now, Sridhar, oh great, Sridhar Country Classic. Oh no, it's not cobalt, it's old school, but it's cobalt blue, isn't it? A royal blue or whatever. The shade is 0669, and it is 50% acrylic, 50% merino wool, and it is soft as butter. Absolutely beautiful to knit with. And I'll throw it in the washing machine, but I just really love it. And this was on sale in on Wool Warehouse a while ago for £2.5 a ball. Now it should be about £5 something, so I cleared the decks. So I should get a sweater for £10. So I recommend this if you're on it's gone up a bit, I think, back to its normal price, so keep an eye out. But I have a couple of feather quantities, and now I say feather quantities, only 5 balls, so there might be another couple of these, but I actually absolutely love it. I had initially bought some of it in a kind of a navy, just for my husband's jumper, thinking he would want a bulkier jumper, and he wanted this 4-ply one. But anyway, he has his eye on another one which is bulkier, so the yarn still may be used, and that's in matching So Yarnalicious bag. So that was another cast on. Then so many things, I don't know what I'm doing. Then in my wee mum bag, my kids bought me this for Mother's Day maybe 3 years ago from Candy Patch Designs, I think. Yeah. Is another Mindfulness Shawl. I'll just show you the yarn. You get it by now, don't you? This yarn was bought to me by lovely Karen from the Stitches and Jacks podcast. She is the kindest person. I've had 2 ops in the last 2 years, and after my first one, I was having a bad day, and the Yorkshire Yarn Festival was on, and she messaged me and said, I want to buy you something. Have you seen it? It was online, and I don't need it, and she pushed and pushed and pushed, and eventually this is Ted Knits UK, and the theme for the Yarn Festival was Wisteria, and that's what she sent me. And it is a 100-gram ball of yarn, skein of yarn, and a 20-gram sock set. Oh, the light. Oh, there it is. Can you see it? Oh, purple, mauvey purple, there's rust, there's green, there's even a bit of red in there. That's not. And then the sock, the 20-gram mini, is this amazing purple. So I like to do the Mindfulness Shawl and then the wee picot bind off with the different colour if I can. And I don't know if you'll be able to see how it's knitting up. Everything's stuck. No, look at that. Far too bright. There we go. Up close and personal. There you go. You can see the greens and the slight. So it's going to be gorgeous, but you obviously it's only a tiny wee thing at the minute. That will probably go to Ireland because I know someone who would love it. So that would be that. I mean, that's just perfect knitting for sitting chatting and in my lovely mum bag. So that's that. Then you've heard me talking many times on here about the Marie Curie sock quest, which is a lovely doctor who works for the Marie Curie hospices. Every year puts out a plea for she wants to give a pair of socks to everybody who's in the hospice over Christmas and if possible their family members. And the emblem for Marie Curie is daffodil, so if they can be in yellow, that's all the better. And the twin set in Purl, who are so good about charity knitting or charity patterns. They give so much money to charity from each of their patterns, and this is the one they did for the Flower Power Fund, which is linked to the sock quest. I printed this out by mistake. I try not to these days. And it's Beneath the Beech Tree Socks by Twin Set and Purl. You can see the detail there. So I thought at least one pair needed to be out of this pattern. They give all the proceeds from this pattern to the Marie Curie. And this is what I should warn you to put sunglasses on. This is the first skein of yellow yarn that I put my hand in. I have 1, 2, 3 more 100-gram skeins that definitely are going towards it. And this is what I've got so far. I've turned for the heel. So bright the camera doesn't like it. I've turned for the heel and I will probably get that finished soon. There's no rush. You don't need to send them off till sort of November time. The yarn is from Truly Hooked. I think I got it in a wool swap, I want to say. Truly Hooked, and the colourway is Sunshine, definitely is, and it's raining here now again. April showers will be coming in even worse. 75.25, and it's lovely to knit with. And it's in the it's just yellow. So somebody, maybe when they look down at their feet, if they're feeling poorly, will get a wee smile put in their face when they see their bright yellow socks. Now some of the other yarn isn't just quite as yellow, but I thought no, I'll use this. And then it's in my absolute favourite bag, without a doubt, that my beautiful friend Hannah's Happy Space, hopefully see her this morning as well. Love it. And she made me this maybe a couple of years ago, Hannah, last year, the year before. And she captured me quite well. And I'm, putting in hints for another one. And I love it. So those socks are in there. And then if you remember, where have I put it now? If you remember last year, why would you remember? It was my 50th birthday. Yes, I'll be 51 on Monday. And my husband tried his best to give me 50 yellow things for my birthday. Yellow is my favourite colour. I try not to wear it on the podcast because, as you see, it blows out and then it makes everything else look funny too. So I do wear it a lot in real life, but not often on the podcast. And he got to about 25, I think, and realised that he would be bankrupt if he bought any more. So I think the 50 was made up by mini eggs and different wee bits and pieces, but he bought me some yarn. Never before and never since has he bought me any yarn. He went on eBay and just typed in wool, I think. Yellow wool, I think that's what he did. And he got this. Got 2 skeins of this. No labels, no nothing. It is quite rustic. Not rustic as in, scratchy, but just, the rain's pouring down again. Not scratchy, but it's 100% lamb's wool. I went on and looked at his purchase. So I know how much it cost. And it was very, very reasonable. Don't know that he would have paid big prices. And he got me 2 skeins of this. It's been sitting in my stash. Every time I open these buckets, I see it and it waves out at me. I thought I need to knit some. And every so often say, have you ever used that yarn or that wool? I wouldn't say yarn that I bought you. And oh, no. And I had no clue what on earth I was going to use it for. It wasn't, and it turned out to be sport weight. It looks like it's nearly, I don't know. I don't think it's hand done. But anyway, I thought, what am I going to do? And I started trying to pair it with things. I started looking up Ravelry, all the rest of it, and I just thought to Pot, you know what? Yes, you've guessed it. I'm knitting a flag. I had no idea. I really struggled to know what skeins of yarn will look like in a cake, and it's often I have to cake them up to really get an idea of them. That's why I love samples of things to see how things knit up. But this is knitting up quite nice. I'm doing a mindfulness shawl. Don't care, shoot me. It's so my colours. And because I worried it would be stripes, but I think because of the way I'm knitting it, it'll be like, you know, a bit of pulling here and a bit of pulling there. Knitting it on straight needles, because just for a change, hardly ever do that. And I think that's going to be me, a bit of me, and hopefully it'll soften up a bit once it's washed as well. So that's in the bag. As I say, I spent ages trying to think. I have nothing else really in those colours and in that sort of rustic-y type of yarn. So I just gave up and just to Pot thought I'd cast on. So I have lots of projects that I can just pick up, knit in meetings, knit on the bus, I don't get the bus, knit on the plane, knit in the airport. I won't be taking those, obviously. I don't think they would allow me to take those on the plane. That I can just nip out of my bag and knit away on. And so this will probably be going for a while. This is in my very, very, very faded HCCluckydipkal bag. I've had this for quite a few years. Used to be bright yellow. It's not. It's more beige now. But I've cast it on before my next birthday. That's the main thing. Isn't it? And actually it's lovely. So but I don't think he'd ever buy me any yarn again. He was very stressed out by it. So the next 2 whips are, I need your advice. Now everybody is different. You know I love bright colours, and these aren't bright colours. So I talked about one last week that I was going to cast on, and I did, and then a new pattern came out and I had to cast on immediately. But I am right yarn, right pattern, wrong combination, I'm thinking, but you can let me know. And the first one is, no, I've done that one. The first one is, oh, rainbow and blue sky. The first one is the, what's the name of it? Smilga. I will put a picture up here, or actually, have I got a picture? Have I got a picture here? It is by Inese Sang. I will put all the details down below. Oh, here's it here, look. Oh, that's a perfect picture. This beautiful cabled shawl with baubles, and you can do all one colour, 2 colours, or 3 colours, and she gives you the instructions for it. And I couldn't resist it, because many of you know I have been showing over the last few podcasts the Long Road Home cardigan, no jumper, keep saying cardigan, from this contrast book. And it's in the, not in the naughty corner, it's the timeout corner. I was making mistakes every time I picked it up. My brain just isn't, it's not a hard pattern, it's my brain. I just couldn't concentrate on it, and I kept making mistakes and had to rip it out, made mistakes and had to rip it out. So it is in timeout because of me, not because of the pattern. I will come back to it, but I just don't have the patience at the moment. As you can see, my level is mindfulness shawls at the moment, with everything that's going on, travel and all the rest of it. So it'll be dragged out again, but it's nesting beautifully in its project bag resting peacefully, and it will come out again soon. So this is my Smilga. Now, it looks all right. I am not convinced this is the right yarn for this design. I don't think you can see it well. And I want to, obviously, I want you to see it well. It is the Purl Soho linen quill that I bought to do a half and half wrap, and I think I'm broken because I didn't like the half and half wrap. I didn't like knitting it. I think I am completely broken because it seems to be everybody's first love, but I didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. Everybody's different and there's something for everybody. I sold the contrasting colour last week, I think, but I love this. This is Chestnut Red. I suppose I should show you the... So I have 3 of these by Purl Soho, linen quill. Oh, linen quill even. And it is 50% Highland wool, 35% alpaca and 15% linen. And it is a delight to knit with, there's no doubt. Darker than that in real life, I think. But I just think maybe I've picked the wrong yarn for this project. I don't want to keep knitting it because you need to watch every single row, although it builds really quickly. You have to, it's not a pattern I think I could just knit on in. You have to check it's written and it's charted. So tell me what you think. Do I keep going or do I get a plainer yarn? I have, a few to choose from, and start again. So that's the one that I'm just not sure about. And the next one is, the last one you'll be glad to know, is the Colour Affection Shawl. I'll put a picture up here. And I showed you the yarn that I was going to use was from Shilisdar Yarn Co, which is up in the Isle of Skye in Scotland, and it's botanically dyed with different, and this particular is different levels of madder. Beautiful, absolute squishiest thing, and I wanted it to be a very subtle stripe, not a really, and I'm certainly getting that. See, now I look at it on the camera and think, oh, that's lovely. And then we would be adding in this as well. I'm not enjoying it. The pattern's fine, but I'm a process knitter, and if I don't enjoy the process, the pattern's lovely, but it's just the yarn. Do I keep going and donate it? See, it actually looks okay. It's actually nicer on the camera. The yarn is gorgeous. I'm not as beautiful to knit with, but it's just not my colours. And I was trying to make it my colours. Not sure that this is right with my tone of grey hair and flesh. Do I keep doing it? Donate it. Now, it wouldn't go to a nursing home or anything because it's 100% wool. Or do I put it to another project? Answers on a postcard, please. So that's 2 that probably will go into a bit of the time out thinking pile. For a wee while till I decide whether I keep going with them or I rip back. I have no problem ripping back. If you've watched before, you know, if in doubt, I rip it out. And reaching out to you now, I probably have 50-50, keep it 50-50, rip it. But yes, those will be, I'll be doing some thinking time about those. I definitely want to knit both of them, but maybe not with those yarns. What do you think? There you go. You'll be glad to know that that is the end of my FOs. That definitely is, yes, 44 minutes in. Now, I will not see you again till well into the middle of, maybe to the late of April, and I have my trusty bag for my Lucky Dip Cal. It's being run by Hawthorne Cottage Craft podcast, lovely Kate, so check out her details if you want to know what it's all about. I have my little bag from Crafty Clegg's Creations that I keep because I'm using 50-gram sock sets that I keep it in. It's empty bar the needles, so that's ready and to go. So let's put the hand in, let's not look, let's go to the bottom. Ooh, Bumbling Yarns, which is now the Lonely Knitter, who organises the East Anglia Yarn Fest. This is gorgeous. What is it with the light today? Put this down because it doesn't need to go back in. So it was, but so you can see how long I've got it when it was a rolled labels. Bumbling Yarns it was. As I say, it's the Lonely Knitter now, and it is one of a kind, 4-ply sock set in 75/25, and it is really lovely. It's pretty good lightness. So I will get that caked up. Could be another travel project. Another socks for Cara. And probably take it just in case you don't want, because you don't want to be stuck with no wool or no. It'll be fine because there's no wool shops in the whole of Edinburgh or Ireland or Northern Ireland, and that'll be going back. Sometimes I take it in my handbags. Most of the time it sits down in the kitchen when I'm making the dinner, and when it's cooking I generally knit a few rows and keep that going in my wee bag. So that's all of that. Travel knitting, I've basically said Edinburgh, I think, because we'll have at least 8 to 10 hours in the car, both there and back. I will, of course, share the driving, but my husband prefers to drive, it has to be said. So I can nearly get a jumper done in that. I could get this done in that time, couldn't I? But I'll take this so basic because I can try it on them when I'm there. And I will take socks and I will take a mindfulness, I think. That's my plan. And for Ireland, I think I'm going to take mindfulness and socks. See what happens. It could be 25 more cast-ons by the time I finish. Now, very quickly, I want to show you a few things that have come in. I've bought a couple of them, but they're mostly presents, and I just think I can't let it go. I know it's not for everybody, but I just can't let it go and not say thank you to people. Now, it was Mother's Day here last Sunday, and I got duped last year because it was Mother's Day and my birthday on the same day last year, and we lost an hour in the clocks changing, so I felt really duped, really disgruntled for that. I didn't. And my daughter was very concerned about that. She was very worried about that. And Eva, I've mentioned, has taken up crochet. I'm not a crocheter. As I say, I know one stitch and I have a blanket which will be in the go for the rest of my life probably. But she has really taken it, and she's made some hats with her friends just from TikTok videos, and she presented me with 3 things for Mother's Day, and has since found out by coming to a knit group with me that she's been crocheting into the back loop. Means nothing to me. She's now stopped doing that. Lovely Laura of the Woolly Beater knitting shop in Oakhampton sat with her and showed her what to do, and showed her a magic circle, and she can now do that. So thank you. If you have a knitting shop close to you, or if you're close to the Woolly Beater in Oakhampton, don't hesitate to come to a knit group, and there's many people who can maybe help you with your problems. So I wanted some pot holders, because everybody in my house keeps using my pot holders as dishcloths. But she's made me nice big, look at that. It's peaches and creasy. Apparently this ridge is because she's been going, look at the neatness of it though, look. It's because she's been going into the back loop. No clue. You would all be shouting at me going, yeah. But I think it's lovely. I think it's lovely. It's a lovely design. So that's one. This is another one. Just balls. I told her just to keep knit until they were finished. Balls of peaches and cream that I had in my stash. But this, made me cry. Look at this. She bought this in a jumble sale with her own money. She's going to put something in the bottom of it to, like, it's all clouded to some tissue or something, but we haven't got around to it yet. And she made me lavender. And she made me tulips. Again, I think these ridges are because but I think they look lovely. I just, look. And she presented me them with this, with a wee bow, and lavender stalks. She's just learnt that from TikTok, and I am proud of her, and she's addicted. She said to me now, Mummy, I understand why you're addicted. So she's now knitting stress toys for some of her friends. So if she lets me see these 14-year-old stress toys, they have exams coming up, and she thinks if she gives you these, so when she finishes some of those, maybe I'll show you. Then I met up for a coffee, oh, was it 2 weeks ago already? I think it was, with lovely Amanda, who goes by Miss Mandy Lou on Instagram. She is Shannon of Blue Fern Yarn's mum. Yes, I have no identity either. I am just, you know, Samuel and Eva's mum, Nigel's wife. And we unknowingly did a yarn swap. I took her a cone of yarn that she'd shown some interest in and told her just keep it. And then she lifted this out of her bag for me. And she said, when she saw it, this is March's Yarn Club, I think, with Blue Fern Yarns. It's called Daffodil. Might be a pair of, another pair of socks for Marie Curie. And isn't it? She said when she saw it, she said it was me written all over it. Now there's a theme to this yarn, and it's just gorgeous and squishy. And Shannon's yarn, if you've not had some of Shannon's yarn, go and check it out. I know a lot of you saw her at EYF as well. And then many of you will watch lovely Amanda, it's all Amanda's, on Mouse's Makes podcast. If you don't, it's on every Wednesday, and she just cracks me up. She does. And I saw on Aria Bark podcast the March yarn, and I'd never bought any of her, and I wasn't buying, but you know, it's my birthday, and I saw this and I had to. Look at the wee speckles, and it's Mouse Witch yarn, handmade by Poppy and Mouse. And if you watch the podcast, you know she's got a cat called Poppy who is in charge, and this is the March colorway, and it's superwash merino nylon 75/25, and she sells on her Ko-fi shop, which you can access through her Instagram. But I will try. I don't put links. I think we're all big enough to write down the address, but I will try and put it in the notes. And it's showing up brighter than it is because of this sun, or the lack of sunlight. And this is the one I bought for a very, very reasonable price. But she sent me this one. It's different. It's different. All right. Yeah, you can see it's different. And it says on it, just for Ruth. You've got friends in high places that make yarn. So I am chuffed to bits. I'm not doing this justice with this light. And then her husband does a bit of leather work, and I bought a shawl cuff, giving it away really. And the reason I bought this, not because I need a shawl cuff, because it's lovely, but because it reminded me of my youth. When I was a teenager, well, probably maybe 11, 12, right up, I used to go to kids camps, Christian camps, and one of the ones that we used to go to for weekends and for long weeks was in Newcastle on the County Down coast. Everybody from Northern Ireland will know, you've all been there, mods and all the rest of it. But there was a wee leather shop, do you remember? If you're my age, you remember the wee leather shop. I don't know if it's there now. It's years since I've been in Newcastle. And it was the 80s, lady. It was the 80s, come on. And we used to go down, and obviously he repaired shoes and stuff, but he made handbags, and he made, he sold the strips of leather and we used to buy them and wear them as bracelets because we were dandy. And I remember this was one of the styles that he did. And I wore these all summer, and there were buttons, I'm sure, to make, and that's what we spent our spending money on. And we walked around in the 80s with the bracelets, and we just thought, so when I saw he was making those, yes, it's going to be for my shawl. You can get those on our Ko-fi too when he makes them. Just watch out. She'll show them on our podcast in a lovely wee bag. And that's why I bought that. Just as a wee reminiscence. It made me laugh. Back to the 80s, and I will wear that with pride. Thank you very much, Mandy, on my shawls. So that was the incoming, only one bought thing. And all my colours. I mean, definitely, maybe I should just use it all in one. Look, maybe I'll just use it all in one project, and that's me. Yellow. See, they don't show up well, so if I wore a yellow top or a yellow shawl, they would really be blown out. So that is my that's everything. Only 54 minutes, so that's brilliant. That's all the incoming, all the whips, multiple whips, monogamous knitting, be gone. It's blow up, can't even see it now. Yes, give me a wee bit of advice on whether I keep the yarn choices I've had for those two things. And I'll happily donate the colour affection one, but I do want the Smilga, isn't it Smilga? Yes, Smilga. Definitely want to wear that one, so I need to get it right. So there you go. Now, if you know me, you know, if you've watched before, you know I'm a Christian and I just love sharing the good news of the gospel, and I always do at the end of most podcasts. And I know that that's not what everybody's here for, and if you don't want to listen to me sharing a wee bit, just listen, it's nothing deep at all. I understand that. But maybe this will be the week you do, who knows. But just what God's put in my heart. And if you're leaving me now, I understand, and I not take any offence by it. I hope you have a lovely few weeks till I see you again. If you celebrate Easter, enjoy. If you get a bit of time off work, make sure you do some knitting or crafting in. And I really, really appreciate you spending some time with me and this very fast, as usual, 100-mile-an-hour ramble. And you look after yourself. Bye for now. But if you're staying, I hope you'll just bear with me for a wee minute or two till I share what's on my heart at the moment. And just obviously, what can I say about Easter? I can't let it go by without saying something about it. And you know, for Christians, it was the 3 darkest but the 3 most amazing days in the Christian calendar. On the Friday, when our precious Saviour was sacrificed on the cross after being betrayed, tortured, humiliated, bullied and mocked, then eventually crucified, when the whole world went dark. But on the Sunday, praise the Lord, he rose again. Not with bells and whistles, not with great fanfare, just very quietly, and he met his mum and the women in the garden. Jesus had done nothing wrong, yet was treated like the worst criminal and was given a criminal's death. Even if you've never opened a Bible or stepped foot in a church, I am sure you've seen the images of the 3 crosses on the TV, on the roadside, wherever. Either side of Jesus were actual criminals. Now, I went down a very big rabbit hole trying to see what these guys actually had done. Was there any indication of why they deserve such an awful punishment? There's so many different opinions, but most seem to agree on the fact that they could be those that Rome considered a threat to their control, a menace to Roman rule or social order, thieves, or those who committed treason or terrorists. Another thing most agreed on was that they were used to be a sober deterrent for others not to do the same thing. Upper classes were usually spared, but slaves and lower classes were killed in this way. Horrific, horrific death. All 4 Gospels mention them, but only Luke mentions their actual interactions with Jesus. And I just want to read that wee passage if you'll bear with me. And it's Luke 23:32-43. And it just says, 2 others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross, and the criminals were also crucified, one on the right and one on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." And the soldiers gambled for his clothes by throwing dice. The crowd watched and the leaders scoffed. "He saved others," they said. "Let him save himself, if he really is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself." A sign was fastened above him with these words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you fear God even when you have been sentenced to death? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." Even in this desperate situation, one mocked Jesus, but one humbly acknowledged his sin and asked for forgiveness. I can't imagine the scene. I can't even take in what it must have been like. I was struck again by the simplicity of this. He didn't have a Bible, the Christian lingo, or a church background, and no elaborate prayers. He didn't need to use any fancy words or be in a certain place. He had no choice, had he? Or dressed in a certain way. Right where he was, in his agony and despair, he accepted Jesus. Jesus, also in agony, welcomed him into paradise, meaning heaven. Sometimes we can get all wrapped up in doctrines, traditions, and even cultural beliefs, but all we need to do is simply come to the point where we realise we need Jesus to forgive us and humble ourselves before him. We all deserve eternal death, but yet we are offered this amazing free gift of eternal life if we just accept it. Ephesians 2 verse 8 to 9 says, God saved us by his grace when you believed. And you can't take credit for this. It's a gift from God. Salvation is not a reward for the good things we have done, so none of us can boast about it. We can do nothing to save ourselves, no matter how hard we try. In Acts chapter 4 verse 12 it says, there is salvation in no one else. God has given no other name under heaven by which we must be saved. Jesus died for every sinner. No sin is beyond the grace of God. Isn't that amazing? Romans 5 verse 8 says, but God showed his great love for us by sending Christ to die for us while we were still sinners. This means even the worst of the worst can be forgiven. If they truly ask for forgiveness, he knows their hearts. Sometimes that's hard to take in, isn't it? That he'll forgive even the worst of the worst. Jesus was the only spotless, sinless one, yet he died for us. Jesus could have called out and summoned angels to come. He could have saved himself from all of it, but he knew he was our hope for eternity. Only by dying and shedding his blood as a sacrifice for us could he provide salvation. He was the perfect, sinless substitute sacrifice. That's hard to say. He paid our debt. My question for you this Easter time is, what will you do with Jesus? Will you, like the criminal who even at the end continued to mock him, or will you be like the criminal who realised his sin and asked for forgiveness? You can't sit on the fence with this. Not choosing is rejecting Jesus. Maybe you have been a Christian for a long, long time and have heard the Easter story more times than you can count. Maybe despite our best efforts, it has nearly just become a story and rather than a reality. Maybe there's parts of it you don't even like to hear because it's so hard to read. I hope this year you will take time to thank our Saviour that his everlasting sacrificial love is the same yesterday, today and forever. And is there anything in your life, I'm talking to myself here too, that you know you need to sort out, that you too will come humbly and quietly before the Lord in prayer and get it right, get it sorted this Easter? Don't leave it another year, another Easter where you aren't right with God. You just need to come as that criminal came, humbly before the Lord and ask him for forgiveness and to help you and to live in your life. And as I say to the kids, to be the boss of all of the rooms in your life. And I pray this is the Easter that you will get right with God. I pray that you will see the reality of this awful story, but how much Jesus loved you, that he hung on that cross, sinless and spotless, but he was willing to do it for you. And it's a gruesome story in many ways, but what hope and exhilaration on that third day when Jesus rose and then went on to promise that he ascended to heaven and to promise that he'll come back again one day. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely Easter. I hope it's more than just chocolate and Easter bunnies and days off work and time with your family. I hope it has a real meaning for you, a real heart meaning that you know Christ is your Saviour. As I always say, if you are unsure, if you haven't a clue what I'm talking about, if you want to discuss it a bit, please email me. Ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com is the best way to contact me for those sorts of things where we can have a chat. If you need prayer, any of those things, just get in touch. Many people have over the couple of years that I've been doing it. I don't mind. Listen, I have gone well over the hour as usual. I'm hoping to get to knit group in a wee while, so I'm not sure if this will go out today or tomorrow, but anyway, thanks for bearing with me. Thanks again for your lovely comments. Don't forget to tell me where you're from to enter the giveaway, and yeah, I will see you in probably 3 or 4 weeks. If I can do a chatty one before then, maybe I will. I cannot take you to Scotland with me as much as I would like to, although I'm sure I'll put photographs on Instagram because I am rubbish. I am rubbish at video, and you've all seen it. You've all had to sit through it. I don't want to do that to you, but I'll tell you all about it. Don't worry. Yeah, that's me. I need to shut up now. And just stay safe, look after yourselves, and keep on knitting. Bye for now. God bless. See ya.